my friends, and welcome back to Ration Nerd. Today, I am on point, and I've got this Module B. This is actual Italian military mountain ration. The last one I got apparently was just a civilian version, which is still kind of cool. I still have another one of those I am going to review regardless of whether it's civilian or not, but this is the real deal. This is the Italian military alpine mountain ration. This is crazy badass and fucking enormous. You can see I have big long ape arms, and that thing is really long, well over 24 inches long. Oddly enough, this thing only weighs in at about the 3-pound mark, if that. It is about 2.5 to 3 pounds. Lots of freeze-dried items in here, I am sure. I probably have to turn it sideways just to get the entirety of the bag in frame. That shit's crazy. This is big. It's actually kind of like light and poofy, almost like its side gig is like a pillow when you're in the mountains. But we're going to crack into this. We are going to have a good goddamn time figuring out what you actually get if you're in the Italian military, or maybe some of your English-speaking or French-speaking allies, and you get issued one of these rations because you're going to be in the mountains and shit's going to be cold and you're going to be shivering and things are going to shrink. And if you don't want things to shrink, you know what you could do for me? You could hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, guaranteed to keep things rock hard all night long, and talk to me in chat. It is always a great time to hear from you guys. We're back in full force. That sunburn is not kicking my ass nearly as bad as it was when I shot my last video, the 4th of July stuff. My bad, sorry about that. I did pick up a few more Patreon members, so if you want to help support this channel and keep bread on the table, or, well, rations as it were, you could join my Patreon channel. That would be awesome. For the low cost of $5 a month, you get automatically entered to win the ration giveaway every month. Now, I have 2 different ways we're going to go about this month, so hear a brother out. We are going to be giving away this Russian individual meal this month. However, if I reach 100 Patreon members, you know what I'll be giving away? I bet you don't know what I'll be giving away. But if I get to 100 Patreon members subscribed before the drawing happens on the 9th of next month, which would be August in case you were wondering, I will be giving away one of these sons of bitches, so you're going to get to see it reviewed. It's going to be a Module B. I have another one on the way. I'm going to share with you guys, but only if I get to 100 Patreon members. That's the gig. So tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your babysitter, tell everybody that if they join Patreon for the low cost of $5 a month, you will automatically be entered to win this Module B Italian Army Alpine Troops Cold Climates Food Ration. That's the gig. 100 Patreon subscribers, I'm giving one of these bitches away. To hell with that single meal Russian ration. We're going to give one of these big bastards away, and you can use it as a pillow, or you can crack into it and eat the items and have a good goddamn time. So without any further ado, because I've already talked about the liking and the subscribing and the Patreon, oh yeah, and if you want some merch, you could always grab some merch. That helps the channel just a tiny bit. But realistically, Patreon is where it's at, y'all. Hope to see you over there. Without any more ados, we're going to crack into this Italian Army Alpine Troops Cold Climate Food Ration Module B. And here we go. Let's get this bad boy. This big pill is literally like the same size as like a cheap Walmart pillow, but hopefully the contents are much better than a cheap Walmart pillow. So we're going to go at this from the back because everybody likes it when you go at it from the back. Well, I mean, if you're hetero anyway, you don't like it if somebody comes at you from the back. Well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You get what I'm saying. Some people like it from the back. Some people don't because of their orientation. If you like it from the back, you know exactly what I'm saying. Or if you like being the giver, the person who's giving it from the back, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, in the ration we go. So I'm going to try to be delicate with this because I don't know what the hell is in there that's making this so floofy. And I want to keep this bag because it's cool as shit. I could probably even turn it into a pillow at some point. Have like the Ration Nerd pillow action. So I have a feeling this is all inside of modules. So let's see. Aha! Here we go. This looks like a breakfast module if I've ever seen one. So this is our breakfast module. Check that out. Individually packaged. That's really cool. So let's just set these out, and then we'll get into each module as we go. So that is our breakfast module. This is our lunch module. Really cool. Although I am seeing that basic same brand of food in this ration as I did in the other one, but maybe that one's not so civilian after all. Who knows? I don't have a ration Bible. Sorry about that. I go with the best information that I can possibly get. And sometimes that shit's wrong. Sometimes it's right. Being a ration guy is not an exact science. Sorry. What do we have here? Now we have our dinner sack. That's good stuff. A big old sacco dinner. Then we have another sack that has a bunch of random stuff in it. We'll get to that in a moment. Then we have a snack bag, which looks like it has 3 different items in there. We'll get into that also in a moment. And we have another sundries bag here with all kinds of different random stuff in there. We're getting into that as well. Well, they wanted to make sure that none of this stuff got wet. And now we have a second snack bag. Holy shit, Batman. We're definitely going to have to do a calorie count on this thing. This thing is going to be crazy calorie dense. This ought to be a lot of fun. And we have like a little toiletries bag that has some tissues and some of those really, really neat and horrible Italian paper bags in them. So we have some toiletries. We also have some destructions. Ain't nobody need no those destructions are like those destructions are from Australia. They keep coming back. It's like throwing a boomerang. So we have some destructions. Don't nobody need no destructions. And that, remarkably, is everything out of this big, white, beautiful bag, which is completely awesome. All right, where to start? We have a huge mess on the table, so I guess we will start at the beginning with breakfast. Where did breakfast go? Good God, there's so many bags on the table. This is good stuff. So here we go. We've got breakfast. Let's crack into this and see what is on the breakfast menu, because I haven't had it yet, and you know I need it. There better be some coffee somewhere in this fucking ration. So we have some crunchy granola with milk and coconut, and that brand I've had before. This is going to be absolutely awesome. I've had this particular brand, and I've even had the crunchy granola. It was a different flavor, but it was absolutely awesome. This is a pretty weighty package. That's 150 grams dry weight. That is crazy. And just this package alone has 703 calories in it. That's pretty awesome. Breakfast is looking extremely filling already. And we have what looks like a pretty horrible cutlery set, and those crazy, non-absorbent, plasticky feeling Italian napkins. They've got a neat little print on them, but they are the weirdest consistency. It's almost like they're part paper, part plastic. But we have our really chintzy knife and a really chintzy, flimsy spoon that I'll break if I look at it the wrong way. And we have a fork. And last out of the gate, we have a pack of crackers, the Biscotto crackers, coming in at 50 grams. That is a very carb-intense breakfast if I've ever seen one. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to move each meal as I start to splay everything out on the table. So we're going to get breakfast out of the way. And if there's no sweetened condensed milk in this ration like there is in a normal Italian ration, I might just cry a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Now we've got that lunch meal. So let's get into lunch, see what is on the lunch menu. I'm in a good mood, can you tell? I love getting into rare rations like this. It is a lot of fun. Quite frankly, I like getting into all rations. Some of them are getting kind of ho-hum for me, like USMREs. I don't get really excited when I get into one of those. But when I get into anything else, I'm really excited, especially when I get something rare like this. I'm absolutely off the hook right now. Even though it's really early in the morning and I haven't really had coffee yet. Well, I haven't had a drop of coffee yet, which is total horseshit. I'm still pretty damn excited. So I got up this morning really excited. We have another one of those really thin, not so great cutlery sets. We're not even going to bother opening that guy up. We have another 50-gram package of those Biscotto crackers. Not too bad, I guess. And another pack of those Biscotto crackers. These have definitely gotten the shit beat out of them in the shipping process. The other pack really held up well. Those are very crunchy and dusty. So what do we get here? Chocolate mousse with granola and cherry. That sounds absolutely banging. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about that. I kind of wish that was breakfast, but it's not. It's lunch. We'll wait. That looks absolutely banging. That's 97 grams dry weight. That's absolutely awesome. And that's 400 calories by itself. Telling you, this is going to be a very calorie-dense ration, I have a feeling anyway. And then we have that pasta bolognese for lunch, 130 grams of dry weight. That is packed to the gills. This is going to be a very filling day full of freeze-dried food. This will be pretty crazy. So there we go. We have have lunch, keeping it simple, although we do have other things to add to it with all those other accessory kits. But we have chocolate mousse with granola and cherry. That sounds absolutely fucking amazing. And we have this freeze-dried pasta bolognese. Not the most exotic thing on the planet, but it should be good and belly-filling, at least we hope. And 100 grams of busted-ass biscuits to get through. We're going to re-sack lunch, and then we'll check out dinner. And then here we go with that dinner. Let's see what's on the dinner plate, even though that's 2 meals and snacks away for this guy. All right, so what do we have here? Ooh, that is heavy for a freeze-dried meal. Holy crap, what is this? This is another portion of blueberry and vanilla muesli. That's kind of a crazy dinner item, and that's crazy. Down here it says 405 grams, 700 calories of muesli for dinner. Holy shit, that is a lot of calories just for a standard dinner item, but we're having some blueberry vanilla muesli for dinner. That actually sounds really good to me. That is a lot of muesli to have for dinner. It is going to be an interesting day over here in Ration Nerd Land. I have a feeling we're going to be staying up late, but that's all right. We can do that. And yet another pour. Actually, look at this. You get a different cutlery set for dinner. How awesome is that? Either it's just a factory or you just get better cutlery for dinner. Let's get that out and give it a good old look. Still got the same like half plastic napkins. But this is definitely, I don't know, I wouldn't say higher quality, just a different quality plastic. It's not going to just snap and like break on you like the other ones, but it's more or less the same style, just out of a more flexible plastic, which is definitely a good thing compared to the other sets of silverware that you get. And what's our other main we got going on? Beef stew with potatoes, 118 grams dry. That is crazy. And this is 624 calories just in this portion, so holy shit. So you're going to be sucking down 700 calories in muesli and then another 600 and change in beef stew. That is an awesome meal. Obviously, if you're in an alpine environment, you're going to need all these calories. Me? Probably not so much, but we're going to have them together anyway. And another 50 grams of those biscotto crackers. That's just like a recurring theme with every meal. You get some really hard crunchy crackers to go with it. Not too bad though, not too bad. And this thing is kind of cool. This is a mini dark chocolate bar, which is awesome, 49%, but it feels kind of squishy, so this may have gotten some heat stress. That's okay though. We will definitely tear this thing out of the package and destroy it. Little bar of dark chocolate is never going to go to waste on this ration table. So that is the dinner portion. Back in the sack it goes, so we can get into the snacks and other accoutrements that come with this enormous epic Italian mountain ration. Let's see what we have in this accessory kit. I spy with my little eye something I'm gonna need desperately this morning that I'm really excited about. So let's just dump the whole thing out onto the table and see what we have here. And we have 3 lemon teas. These are all instant, pretty awesome. You could have these hot or cold, I imagine. I don't know if they're sweetened or not. We will find out when we go to have one. That's pretty cool. 3 lemon flavored teas. Awesome sauce. We also have 3 8-gram packs of sugar. Gonna need those for the coffee. Gonna need those for the coffee. Then we have 3 packs. 3 packs. Look at it right there. 3 packs of that most epic, excellent, absolutely appetizing Italian instant coffee. I am literally watering at the mouth right now. I can't wait to get one of these made up and in my face. 3 packs of coffee, 1 for each meal, or 1 really big ass jug of coffee in the morning, which would probably be the way I would do it. That is absolutely awesome. And you want to know why I'd have all 3 of those in a big jug in the morning if this was my ration and I was in the mountains? Because you also get a cappuccino. There is no goddamn thing wrong with getting a cappuccino in your ration. That is absolutely awesome. Little cappuccino action, the same brand as the coffee. I am expecting great things out of that cappuccino. And we also have a hot chocolate, which looks really dark, not so creamy. Where's my sweetened condensed milk, fuckers? But this is some hot chocolate. I can't wait to crack into that. 24 grams of hot chocolatey goodness. And we also have 3 packs of salt, 1 for each meal. Not too shabby at all. So that is this accessory kit. This is going to be fun laying out these meals because I'm going to need to dig and dig and dig for every component for every meal. And let's get in that other like accessories or like other sundries bag. Let's see what's in here. See, and even the Italians know that just because you are in the mountains and it's cold doesn't mean you don't want something cold to drink. Sometimes you just really need it and you gotta have it. So there are 4 of these Enervite instant sport drinks in here. It looks like we have all lemon flavor. Kind of a bummer, but that's okay. You're really going to need your hydration, especially if you're in a cold weather environment. And giving a guy a way to get it down that makes it taste better, especially if they're using chemically treated water. And this is for 1 sports bottle full. We'll have to figure out exactly how many ounces in a sports bottle, but that is all right. That is an excellent ration addition. And then we have 5. Count them. 5 moist towelettes. Looks like these are all antibacterial. Totally could wipe your butt, totally could wipe your face, totally could wipe your friend's butt if he just had too much gear on and couldn't get back there to get that dingleberry out. You could be his best buddy and use up one of your probably frozen moist towelettes to help him get that dingleberry. Or not, totally up to you. But we have 5 moist towelettes. That's absolutely awesome. That's taking care of a soldier. Then we have 5 toothpicks to get in there and get any danglers out from in between your toothers. That is a great idea. 5 toothpicks. A toothbrush would have been really cool, but 5 toothpicks is certainly cool. And then we have 4 of those Enervite vitamin tablets. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with these things, but they're very useful. Lots of vitamins to fuel the body for a guy who's going to be hauling ass in the mountains. This is a great ration addition as well. Then we have 6 water purification tablets. Each one of those is good for 1 liter. And we have 5 packs of Coal Fresh Smile Gum. That is pretty cool. We're definitely going to nom on one of those guys. So that's everything in that accessory kit. Let me get this mess cleaned up because we still have 2 bags to get through. And we'll jump into this toiletries bag here because that's going to be a quickie. A pack of tissues, toughly pretty cool, sensitive touch, absolutely amazing. These are great for wiping your butt and picking a booger, which you're definitely going to need to pick those icy boogers off your face when you're in the mountains. This is an excellent, absolute, should be in every ration, whether it's 24-hour or single meal. Give the guys a pack of tissues. They can do what they want with it, but you can definitely wipe that butt, you can wipe that face, you can blow that nose, you can catch a booger. This is 10 tissues, which is absolutely amazing. The packaging might be a little frou-frou for a military ration, but that is all right. It's 10 tissues. Who gives a shit if it's got like Oscar the Grouch on there? Tissues are a great ration addition. And then we have those waxed paper bags that come in your standard Italian rations. These are for either packing out your trash or maybe you just take a big old dump in one of these bags. They're waxy, they're papery, they're bags. Yeah, so you get some bags. How many of those guys do you get, might you ask? So you either get 3 dookies or you get to pack your trash out 3 times. I'm not real sure which one would be better. I've never been in the Alps, so I can't really speak to it. Now we have a snack pack number 1. We have an Enervite Power Crunchy Bar, cookie and oat flakes. That actually sounds really good. So that's a badass snack. Of course I say that and it could taste like ass, but it sounds really good, especially at this time in the morning. And then we have that Carbo Boost Apricot Bar. Sounds pretty amazing to me, if I'm being honest. 22 grams of carbs, bring it on, diabetes. And this is just a bag of walnuts, which I will crack into and try. Maybe I'll just save them to send out in one of the ration giveaways. Walnuts are not my favorite nut on the planet. There's lots of different tastes out there. Some people would love to have a little bag of walnuts. That's great though. There's quite a bit of calories and fat in a little sack of walnuts like this. Great on the move snack if you're loving the walnuts. And then we have snack sack number 2. Let's check out what is in this guy. Boy, Enervite is like their thing. The Beretta 8000 Fruta Bar. That sounds kind of gunpowdery, but that's okay. So this is like a fruit energy bar, kind of like a power bar. That ought to be lots of fun. And then we have a chocolate cereal bar, not too shabby. Also Beretta, badass. Then we have a little satchel of hazelnuts. That's pretty cool. I do dig me some hazelnuts. And then we have a sack of almonds. This is actually a really well thought out ration. I mean, all these snacks, all these calories, all these different things to keep you interested and keep you moving throughout the day, and a great way to wipe your butt, not including the 5 moist towelettes that you get. This ought to be a hell of a lot of fun. This is a big mess. Well, my friends, this is everything contained in an Italian Army Alpine Mountain ration. I am going to get breakfast and some snacks out onto a tray, and I'll be right back as soon as I finish sorting through all the snack and like extras bags. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to breakfast. The ration table is busy. This is good. It's almost coffee time, so I'm getting really excited. It's definitely too early in the morning for all this talking without coffee. I can get rid of these rented lips because you just don't know how many times I have to stop and start over when I am recording the breakfast portion before I get the bean of the gods in this face hole. First thing we need to do is hydrate our muesli, though. Even though the first thing I really should do is get some coffee in this face, we're going to go ahead and rehydrate this muesli. I'm really looking forward to this. A little bit of crunchy granola with milk and coconut outdoor breakfast. That looks like it has some milk powder in there. That looks real good. That looks real good. That gusset just like kind of gave up the goose on me. That wasn't good. See if we have any do not eat packets chilling in there. That wouldn't be good to try to rehydrate that. And check that out. I don't know if you can see that, but we have a whole bunch of different letters on the inside of that pouch. We're going to have to do a little reading here and see what it says about the letters. So it looks like that all those letters are pre-printed on the inside of every package, and they give you a letter to follow for your particular meal. This one, they want us to fill up to the E line, so we'll certainly give that a go. And we'll make a mess all over the tray. It would not be a Ration Nerd video if I didn't make a goddamn mess. So on with the breakfast. I'm going to stick my digi down in there and try to get that bowl depressed so we don't have like a big shark fin in the middle of our granola bowl. So we're going to go ahead and hydrate the shit out of that. Well, I got to turn it around so I can see the letter E. All right, let's add some water to this guy, and then we'll get our stir on. And E, right there. So hopefully we don't destroy the spoon just in the process of stirring up our oatmeal. E seems like a hell of a lot of water. I hope I didn't screw up and just make granola soup. That would really, really suck because there's no takebacks. But I did read it. It said E. God damn it. If this turns out to be like a bowl of granola soup, I'm going to be a little mad if I'm being honest. That looks like a lot of water for that bowl of granola that's down in there. We filled it up to the prescribed line. We're going to try to shake it a little bit without burning our digits too bad. That's really hot and awesome. We're going to set that off to the side so we can let that rehydrate and pray that that isn't just like granola soup for breakfast. But I decided to go a little heavy on the energy bars just because I have a whole lot of snacks to get through. We also have those biscuits, which I have no clue what I'm doing with. We're going to get to hydrating these drinks though, and we're going to start out with the absolute most important drink of all, the goddamn coffee. That is what we're going to start with. This Restore brand instant coffee is absolutely amazing. Loved it every single time I've had it. If they have not changed the formula, this is about to be a banging cup of breakfast ration coffee. And you know, we got to throw that 8 grams of sugar in there because, well, why not? And we're not going to make a huge cup of coffee because there is not a whole lot of coffee granules in that packet. Look at that dark, rich yumminess in there, combining with all that powdered diabetes. So excited about this. I think I should just grab some of that powdered milk out of the granola and just chuck it in here. Of course, it's not powdered anymore, but you know, desperate times and all that. Didn't give me the sweetened condensed milk that comes with this ration. What the hell were they thinking? Speaking of the sweetened condensed milk that normally comes with Italian rations, I have one of those boxes right over here by the same company that makes the coffee. Why couldn't you guys have put that in there? Maybe it would have been a big frozen block of sweetened condensed milk, but you know what? If I were in the mountains, I would stuff that down my pants right next to the sack and let it get all nice and warm, and then I'd put it in my coffee. Am I putting nuts in my coffee? Maybe kind of a little bit, but at that point, if I'm in the mountains, I really wouldn't care because you're not getting swamp ass in the mountains. You're totally just going to get some body temperature sweetened condensed milk, which I could totally live with. I wouldn't tell anybody about it. It's not like I would brag about it, but I would certainly do it. That would be riding right next to the boys, keeping itself from getting frozen, and it might be a little uncomfortable, but it would be completely worth having sweet and creamy coffee with the sweetened condensed milk. And then we're going to check out that tea. I'm still kind of on the fence as to whether or not I want to do this lemon tea hot or cold. That doesn't really smell like a whole lot of anything. There is quite a bit of that in there. We'll do the morning portion hot. Even though it's against my better judgment, it's too hot outside for all this hot drink action. We'll roll with it hot for breakfast. And definitely, in my humble opinion, Italy is doing it right, getting their soldiers to drink by putting sports drink in there. You're going to need a ton of water for this ration with all the drinks and all the dehydrated mains, which I imagine you'd just be using melted snow, which means you're going to need every single one of these water treatment tablets, and every drop of water is going to taste like that and probably taste a little nasty. Having all these drink options is absolutely the way to go. You want a hydrated soldier? Give them something tasty. Lemon flavored sports drink. Let's give that a little sniff. That really doesn't smell like much either. That's okay. Maybe once we get some water in it, it'll start smelling and tasting like something. And if you're not doing it, you know you should. You should absolutely hydrate because it's good for you. It'll keep you alive longer. It'll make you sexier. It'll make you a goddamn love machine if you are absolutely hydrated. And that goes for men and women. Hydrate. It's totally good for you. That looks about the same size as a sports bottle if you ask me. Now we'll stir up that tea action. Make sure that is nice and incorporated. And stir up this. And we'll call in some reinforcements to stir up that lemon isotonic beverage. Now let's start checking out the rest of this fun stuff. We have some almonds. Look at those guys. Not too shabby. That's a pretty decent portion for like a pocket snack. Not too bad. Let's see what this Beretta 8000 is all about. This thing is in a really stout foil package, which is awesome. That looks just like an American style power bar. Like just some compressed sawdust action. That's exactly what it looks like too. It looks like some OSB board I'm getting ready to nail down to the floor. Just like your old school power bar. Hopefully that's tastier than it looks. Then we have this Power Crunch Cookie and Oat Flakes. You know I couldn't resist that. We had so many snacks to get through, I figured I would just have a banging breakfast, although that's not really usually my MO. But that lunch and dinner are pretty large in charge, so we need to knock out some of these snacks with breakfast, or I'm never going to make it to the end of this ration. That's not horrible looking. Not the best looking bar I've ever seen. Seems like a whole lot of rice and soy crisps going on in there. Let's give that a little sniff. Oh shit, that actually smells really good. That smells like sweet honey and oats. That has a great smell to it. And then we have our 50 grams of biscotti biscuits, which I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with. These things are really dry. They really need some help. Like they need something to go on top of them or something to dip them in to really make them worth eating. They're very light. They're very airy. They're very crunchy. They're actually rather attractive as far as biscuits go. Like that's a good looking biscuit. I'll bring you one up for your eyeballs here in just a second. And take a look at these guys. Like these are like the perfect level of golden brown toasty biscuit. Like you just can't knock them for that. Like that is an absolutely like world-class toasted biscuit right there. That is epic. Absolutely awesome. Let's get a little flavor profile on this. And I forgot that about these biscuits. They're not necessarily sweet, but they have just an ever so slight hint of vanilla. These are pretty damn good. Still a little bit on the plain side. Really could use some jam or something to put on them, but these are actually really good. Very yummy. I really think I screwed the pooch on that. I'm really sad about it. But let's get into the star attraction of breakfast. The star attraction of every breakfast. Usually, the only thing I actually have for breakfast is coffee. I'm completely expecting this to be absolutely wonderful and yummy. Let's get a sniff. And that has such a nice dark roast, wholesome coffee aroma. I'm about to put this up to my big face hole and get a nice little sip. Absolutely fuck yes. That is an excellent cup of coffee, even without cream. It would have been like Rockstar coffee if it had cream, but let me tell you what, this is still hands down the best ration coffee I have ever had. You're gonna have to excuse me for a minute while me and the rest of this little tiny cup of coffee get more acquainted so I can quit having to say things more than 3 or 4 times in a row just to get them on phone. And that right there is absolute fucking coffee magic. That was amazing. That is a great cup of coffee. Realistically, if I were eating this ration out in like the wild or whatever, of course, if I was in a mountain environment, I'd probably be desiring some calories. Burning calories inside of your stomach helps to keep you warm. Putting down some of this stuff for breakfast just to keep my energy levels and my internal furnace working. Let's give this lemon tea a try. It's just chilling over here staring at me, wondering why I'm neglecting it. Well, I was neglecting you, buddy, because that coffee was absolutely amazing. And you're an unknown. So let's give a little sniff. And that has a really pleasant lemon smell. Let's give that a taste. Oh, that's actually really good. It's pre-sweetened. Nice lemon flavor, nice tea flavor as well. That's actually really good. I can't wait to see what that is like cold. That would make a great cold tea. As it sits, a nice, sweet, hot lemon tea in the morning. If it was really cold outside, would definitely hit the spot. Let's check out this lemon-flavored sports drink or isotonic beverage. That definitely clouded up the water. Still doesn't smell like much, but let's give it a taste. That is not the greatest. That has a nice lemon flavor. It's just barely sweet, but it tastes like a multivitamin. Now, granted, you're going to need all those vitamins and minerals and salt that is putting into you, but that's just a little bit on the nasty side. But hey, if it's chemically treated water, that is going to make it taste 1,000 times better, and it's probably exactly what you need in a mountain environment, so I'm going to give it a pass. Even though it tastes like drinking a lemon multivitamin, shit happens. Now let's see, did I ruin breakfast? I'm pretty sure I did. That is a real pain in the ass. I read the instructions. It said fill it up to E. I filled it up to E, and now I've got some breakfast soup action, which is, well, that's actually a real bummer. And that is absolutely what we have. We have some breakfast soup going on. Let's just pour our breakfast soup out onto the tray and see what happens. Maybe this was supposed to be a cold cereal, but I just couldn't imagine this being a cold cereal in a mountain environment. Oh boy, we've got an absolute mess getting ready to happen here. I'm going to have to evacuate a little bit of the liquid out of this before I can dump the rest of that granola in there. All right, let's get the rest of this granola out in there before we have like a major overflow going on. That is definitely a really good looking granola, I have to admit. I can't believe they had you fill it up to the E line, which is a crazy amount of liquid for this little bit of granola. I guess I should have thought about it a little bit more. The E was not the way to fill it up. If you wind up getting to be the 100th Patreon member and it happens this week and I give away this ration, don't listen to this package. Fill it up, I would say, probably to about the C, maybe D, maybe D. Let's tuck in and see what it's all about. All right, so this looks like a standard granola with coconut, and there is a whole lot of very warm milk going on in there. Not a whole lot to see, but let's try to give you guys a close-up. We're not going to try, we're going to do. The only part about the trying is how much of this am I going to drip on myself in the process? That is always the question. That's really hot and really like, yeah, okay. So there you go. There's a look of what I'm about to stuff in my face for breakfast and a little handful of that powdered milk action. Let me get this in the face so that I can clean that up. See, and that's why I'm not into these napkins. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like barely absorbing any of the liquid. It's not a very absorbent napkin. It's just kind of something there to wipe the food around. You certainly couldn't wipe your butt with them because all you would do is smear it around, and you can barely even wipe your hand off with it. But this stuff has a really excellent honey, oat, and coconut flavor. Mildly sweet, which is excellent. Not overly sweet like candy. This is really wholesome. Imagine like the best honey oat granola bar you've ever had with a little bit of coconut milk. That's pretty much what this tastes like. It is absolutely yummy, warm. If it was cold outside, I'd be really looking forward to this. Maybe they want you to fill it up to the E line because they want you to get extra hydration out of your breakfast, which certainly isn't a bad idea, but damn, this is messy. Who's making an absolute mess? This guy. It's already on my beard. It's down my shirt. I don't even care. I knew it was going to happen. There's too much liquid in here for me to be able to get this flimsy little spoon from the tray to my head without spilling shit all over me. So it's what it is. Let's try to see if we can get one of these biscottis dunked in this nice, like, hot, milky substance. With that slight vanilla flavor of those biscottis, it could totally be a thing. We're going to give it a second to soak it up, and we're going to find out. And that granola is absolutely excellent. It is a really high quality. This breakfast main is very filling, very satisfying, but you wouldn't even know this was food out of a ration. This is actually just a quality breakfast item. Now onto that biscotti that's been soaking in that milk for a little while. Let's munch on that and see what that's about. Oh my God. That's like a match made in heaven. Oh wow, that vanilla flavor from those biscottis, maybe that was exactly what they had intended. Maybe right now there's some Italian guy out there losing his mind because I'm supposed to be dipping the biscotti in the tea or the coffee, but I'm like slamming pieces of biscotti in the breakfast. It's like a vanilla cookie flavor when you combine it with that milk. That's absolutely decadent. It's almost like dessert and not like breakfast. That is crazy good. I was actually really, I don't know, I kind of felt like the biscotti were kind of lame. Kind of like a bad addition to breakfast, but you know what? I was absolutely wrong. Combined with this granola and the milk, wow. It's like having dessert for breakfast. This is absolutely amazing. This is naughty breakfast. This is the best. I really do need to get that whole bib thing going on. This shirt is going in the wash as soon as I get up from this table. There's no way I can walk around with this many milk stains and granola hunks just chilling on my shirt. That would be even more white trash than I could possibly handle. You know what would have been great is if this ration came with a face bucket, like a big old fat face bucket, like one of these guys, so you could really get like a big ass scoop of that milk all at the same time. Like I said, it feels so naughty to be doing this, but at the same time, not so much. This was an expensive ration, and I'm just really happy that at the very least, I'm tickled about breakfast. Meanwhile, while I'm trying these other items, I'm going to get some more biscotti hunks floating around in that breakfast milk. Every once in a while, you run across a ration item or a pair of items that just really knocks your socks off, and this is definitely one of them. This is absolutely amazingly decadent. I am not hungry at all, and I'm going to sit here and eat every one of those little biscotti hunks. All right, now moving on, let's check out this Italian version of the Power Bar. Let's give that big old sawdust bar a bite. Oh, wow. Hey, holy shit. Italy takes the Power Bar exactly where it should have been. It looks just like a Power Bar here in the United States, but you know what? It shares no texture with the Power Bar here in the US. This thing is soft, chewy, has a really nice background fruit flavor, a lot like peaches and apricots all at the same time, maybe a little hint of pear. That's absolutely amazing. Perfect for chewing on the go. It's perfect for any time of the day. Fruity, easy to eat, isn't wrecking your teeth. This thing is crazy good. And before we get onto that really excellent smelling energy bar over there, we're gonna try some of these almonds. We'll bring them up so you guys can take a look at them. They look like they're relatively lightly toasted. Hopefully they're not raw, but let's pop them in the face and find out. Those are excellent. Unsalted, but perfectly toasted. Nice and crunchy without being hard. That's actually some really high quality almonds right there. Probably some of the better almonds I've had yet in a ration, and well, even in my personal life. I thought I'd had some bougie high quality almonds. Obviously, I was wrong. These have an excellent taste, a great texture. These are some really high quality almonds, and I'm surprised to find them in a ration. All right, and last up, we have this other Enervite bar. So we're going to give this guy, let's give you a little cross section on him. I know I brought him up to you earlier, but I kind of screwed you on the cross section. Now let's get a bite of this guy. He smells amazing. Let's see what he tastes like. And that's kind of disappointing, and not all at the same time. It just doesn't taste as good as it smells. It's nice and sweet. It's crunchy, but all the smells that you get on the front end just don't translate to the taste. It's not bad. It's sweet. It's chewy. It's crunchy. It's actually pretty damn good. It just doesn't live up to its scent, which is a really weird thing, but it's still pretty damn good. And I was so excited about eating that biscotti. I forgot to show you guys the last bite of the biscotti soaked in the milk. That's how much I really enjoyed that. But that is the last bite of that really milky granola. Excellent, excellent breakfast item. In the face with that. And this, in all honesty, is a hell yes for breakfast spoon drop. I'm not normally a big fan of breakfast. Tasty as hell, lots of fun, completely decadent. This is a well-deserved spoon drop right there. I am going to finish up the rest of these bars because I paid for them, not because I'm hungry. I'm going to nom on that biscotti because it's really goddamn good. I might even finish off those almonds. Oh, wait. We forgot our Enervite vitamin tablet, which we definitely need to get rocking in our head. So there is that guy. Not really sure. Not really sure what direction it's pointing. This isn't like an emergency compass or anything. This is definitely a vitamin tablet in the face hole with that guy. Man, I hope this thing doesn't taste like ass, because honestly, all these other items were so good. I hate to ruin it with this, but at least I have that guy to like bring my face back around. Let's throw this in my head. That's chalky and nasty. It kind of reminds you of like an adult version of a Flintstone chewable vitamin. And that's pretty nasty. Like if you made Flintstones vitamins, but you made them for adults, you'd make them taste shittier. And that's exactly what that's like. It kind of tastes like ass, but that's okay. And so we can tackle this now. Because we do have some sticky digis going on. Let's check out one of these moist towelettes. Get that out of the way early in the day. You never know, we're gonna probably need some of these moist towelettes as the day goes on. And that is nice and wet, pretty decent size. Probably not extraordinarily strong. Well, in this direction it is. In this direction it wants to stretch out like a rope. And it has a very mild floral scent. It does not smell like stinky grandma, which is a really good thing. I'm more into the unscented wipes for soldiers, but hey, maybe this is just to help get your beehole not stanking like, you know, a mountain man. Pooping in the mountains, I'm sure, is not the cleanest affair on the planet, and you're definitely going to need as many of these as you can possibly get. You combine one of these suckers with a tissue, you would definitely have a good butt wiper. This is a pretty decent moist towelette. I'm really digging it. It's pretty strong. Well, guys, I'm going to finish up the rest of these items, and in about 3 or 4 hours, we'll be back with some lunch. This is going to be a long day and a really calorie intense day, so I'm going to have to find something to do. See you guys in a few hours. All right, everybody, welcome back to lunch. We are getting ready to crack into this big mess, but before we do, I want to remind you that I got this ration from my good friend and yours, this guy right here, whose name I've still never been able to figure out how to pronounce. He got kicked off eBay. He's just selling rations on the private. That is his email address if you want to get in touch with him to get you some cool rations just like this guy right here. Let's bust into this lunch. What's for lunch, you may ask? Don't you already know? Well, in case you don't, we're going to have some of that tea, but it's going to be cold this time. We're going to bust into that cappuccino. We're going to have another instant sports drink because it's hot as hell outside in Ration Nerd land. We have 100 grams of those biscotti crackers. We're going to crack into that pasta bolognese. We're also going to get a chocolate mousse with granola and cherry. We're going to crack into that apricot energy bar. We're going to try out the gum. And of course, we're going to take our daily dose of vitamins. And I know what you're thinking. Same thing I'm thinking. This ration is extraordinarily carb heavy, but to be fair, in a cold climate, carbs can serve as the body's primary energy source. So that will help you generate a whole lot of heat and maintain your core body temperature. I'm not a big carb advocate. I'm not a big fan of eating tons of carbs in a day. However, if you're in a cold climate and you need to keep your core temperature up, all these carbohydrates are certainly going to help you do that, and then later on you'll catch the diabetes, but that's besides the point. First thing we got to do is get to hydrating this main and that lunch dessert. Who doesn't love to have a little dessert with lunch? I know I do. On to the hydration, and first things first, we will check out this mousse, because this is going to take we're going to use nice cold water. I'm not having any hot mousse. And I'm kind of sad this didn't come with a dinner meal, because this sounds like a great way to end your day with chocolate mousse with granola and cherry. Fuck yes, that sounds really good. I hope it is as good as it sounds. And that was a nice ass tear. I do love me a nice tear that doesn't leave you with like the bag tag. It's kind of sexy. All right, we have our predetermined measure lines again, which I'm just a little skeptical about. And we have a do not eat chilling in there, which I do not want being mixed up with my mousse. And on the instructions on the back of the package, it says to fill to the H line, which is very hard to see down inside of that packet if you can see it at all. Breakfast kind of fucked with me, but I'm going to try to trust them on this because I don't want any janky mousse. Probably go just a little less than, how about we'll go to I instead of H. A is at the top and it's descending down to the bottom, so we will go with I instead of H. We're going to get down in there and stir all that powdery and chunky goodness out of that bottom gusset so we can shake it like it owes us money and give us a really nice dessert for lunch. Lunch dessert, that is just such a concept. Maybe I'm just an asshat? Actually, I take that back. I know I'm an asshat, but all right, now we'll shake the hell out of this mousse. You chill over there while we heat up this pasta bolognese. Let's see how much water they say to add to this guy. And this says to fill to line D inside of the package. Now with pasta, I tend to err a little bit on the side of over-hydrating it, because a lot of times pasta does not hydrate very well. That smell hit me as soon as I opened up that bag. Let's get a whiff. That smells actually really good. Really tomatoey. It smells a lot like Italian seasoning. That's actually a really great smell. Where is A, B, C, D? There it is. All right, so let's get that hot water in here. Oh, it can't be. No way. We gotta stir that around, wiggle it or something. That was way too little water. Okay, there we go. That makes a whole lot more sense. All right, we went somewhere between C and D, because I really don't want hard, crunchy pasta. Again, with the shaking like it owes us money. Oh, ow. fuck me, that is hot. That is really hot. We're gonna sit you over here. I gotta do something about this thing. It's kind of skeeving me out. Now we're gonna get this cappuccino mixed up because Restore a Cappuccino sounds amazing. This is gonna be my first experience with Restore a Cappuccino. That smells amazing. And as much as I love the coffee, I have really high hopes for the cappuccino. And we're going to get some of that nice cold lemon tea this time, which is actually really good. It was really good hot. I have no reason to believe it's not going to be good cold. And our sports drink action. Don't hate, just hydrate. And a little added reinforcement never hurt nobody. And you know it's that magic time where we get some coffee or cappuccino on the table for the Ration nerd. Hell yes. And I'm actually doing my best not to drink the rest of that Restore coffee simply because I want to have some to mail out to my Patreon members because they're bitching and they help support this channel. Now let's give this cappuccino a little stir. I'm really excited about the cappuccino. All right, and you know, we've got to get it while it's nice and hot. Let's get a sniff and a sip of this Restore cappuccino. That smells like coffee and hot milk. It's absolutely amazing. That is really good, not sweetened, which is a bummer, but that's okay. We have a remedy for that. They give you a whole bunch of sugar in this ration, 24 grams to be exact. So, since we're not going to do another one of those coffees and we're going to save them to give to other people, which doesn't sound right in my head somehow, I'm going to go ahead and dump 8 grams of sugar in there, make that a nice sweet cappuccino. Now let's give that a try with some diabetes added. Oh, that tuned that right up. If you like cappuccino in any way, shape, or form, this is absolutely amazing. It has that base coffee flavor of the Restore coffee along with some essentially powdered milk. It does not have that weird powdered milk flavor. Actually tastes really natural. Not quite sure what kind of voodoo they cooked up to get that cappuccino to taste so goddamn good, but it is really amazing. If it wasn't so hot outside, I would be lamenting this small portion, but damn, this is a really excellent treat to have in a ration. A cup of cappuccino, completely, absolutely bitchin'. And while we are patiently waiting for that pasta bolognese to do its thing, let's give that tea a try. See what that lemon tea tastes like cold. That's excellent. Very light lemon flavor, not as pronounced when it's cold. Still nice and sweet. That's a perfect portion size for it. So between the chocolate mousse, the tea, and the sports drink, almost 1 complete liter of water has been consumed so far. That's quite a lot. That does not include the hot water that we used for the cappuccino and for the pasta bolognese. So this is definitely a water-intensive ration. You have got to have a lot of water to be able to consume the vast amount of calories in this ration. I don't think I'm going to go through 100 grams of Biscotto crackers in one meal, so we're going to try to keep the pack that feels most intact, which seems like this guy. Let's get those Biscotto crackers out and ready to rumble. They broke up a little bit, but at least it's not just like a whole bunch of Biscotto dust in there. Let's see what this apricot energy bar is all about. Excellent. Well, hey, this is a cold weather ration, and you're going to need those carbohydrates. Do I need them? Hell no, especially not this many carbs in a single day. Let's take a better look at this Carbo Boost bar. Check that guy out. Pretty nifty looking. Give you a little cross section of that guy right there. Feels nice and soft and chewy. We'll get to him in just a minute. And while we're at it, we might as well be a big boy and take our damn vitamins, because at least there'll be something better tasting coming in after this damn adult Flintstones vitamin. And let's follow that up with some of this uber yummy, that's sarcasm, in case you didn't know, lemon sports drink. Reminds you a bit of the lemon isotonic that comes in Spanish rations, although it does not have that greasy mouthfeel. Certainly a great way to make chemically treated water not taste like shit anymore. That's kind of medicinal. It's like taking your medicine is what that feels like. And while we are waiting for that pasta bolognese, let's see if this is the exact same Biscotto cracker we had with breakfast. Now that's really odd. The packaging doesn't look any different, but that vanilla flavor in those crackers is completely gone. This is just a very plain, very crispy cracker. By themselves, they're a wee bit plain. I'm sure they're meant to either scoop up the main or add to it for some crunch. And that's probably because I'm a dummy. because the one from this morning was Biscotto Dulce, which must mean that these are the vanilla, and then these are just plain Biscotto crackers, because apparently I don't read good, so that's where that vanilla taste went. It went into all these crackers and not in these. Let's check out this apricot energy bar just for giggles. And that apricot energy bar is absolutely hands down amazing. Has a really nice chewy texture, a little bit of crunchiness from the crisps that are in there, but the apricot flavor in that energy bar is absolutely on point. That is an amazing, absolutely yummy snack. The apricot flavor punches you in the face as soon as you start chewing on it, and it really doesn't let up until the very end, and that's the only time you taste any of the grains. Otherwise, it's like having a mouthful of semi-crunchy apricot gooey goodness. Fuck yeah. And while I'm chewing that granola bar, this mousse has been patiently awaiting our attention out onto the tray. How did our mousse do? Hopefully the mousse did really well. Oh, that looks great in there. Just gonna try to squeeze that on out of there. Nah, we're gonna have to get in there with a spoon because there's some granola chunks that are gonna stop me from just squeezing it all out. Look at that. It looks really good. We're gonna have to fetch the rest of that with a spoon, and I am gonna be a hot mess for it. So I got every bit of it out of there that I could. That is a good looking portion of chocolate mousse. Nice and creamy. It's set up really well. You can see some of that granola floating around in there. I really hope there's some cherry bits in there. That'll make me all kinds of jolly. Trying to make sure I don't have chocolate on myself anywhere. Anyway, that mousse looks amazing. It's absolutely time to bring out the pasta bolognese. I have a feeling some of those biscottos are going to get dipped into that chocolate mousse. I'm just saying, how well did this rehydrate? I don't know. Let's find out together. I do see quite a bit of water just chilling in there. That's never a good sign. Let's see. Ooh. That actually looks like it has a lot of meat in it, which is really cool. So it's more like bolognese and less pasta. That is not what I was expecting out of it. Wow, look at that portion size. That's pretty large and in charge. And it all just kind of came out of the bag in one fell swoop, which is really nice. Check that out. That is a big pile of craziness. So let's tuck into this pasta bolognese. So this really, we do see some tomatoes in here, lots of what I hope is ground beef, and we have these spiral noodles and some seasoning chilling in there. Doesn't look too bad. It smelled really interesting in the bag. It looks like it hydrated really well. This is a much better freeze-dried main than I was expecting, to be honest. So take a look at that big old spoonful of pasta bolognese. Not really sure if it's going to be good, but we're about to open up the tunnel and send in the choo-choo. And wow, I mean, that's bland as hell. It's not bad. It is very bland. Totally not what I was expecting. A little bit of that bitter tomato paste flavor. The beef and the noodles actually hydrated really well. There's just not a whole lot of flavor going on in there. Like, it has a really good Italian seasoning smell, but it certainly doesn't translate in the taste. I guess we can try to salt it up a little bit. We do have 3 packs of salt. I'm not going to put it all on there at first because that might just be overkill, but I was really expecting with the smell that came off of this, I don't know, much more vibrant flavor. It really just has a tomato paste, mild beef flavor, and also a heavy flavor of garlic to it. And you'd think that might make it really flavorful. Well, think again. The noodles don't taste like anything, obviously. They've been freeze-dried with all these other ingredients that actually have their own flavor. I don't know. Let's try it with some salt. This is one hell of a big main to get through if it's going to be this plain the entire time. Okay. The salt definitely helped a bit. It helped to bring out a little bit more of the seasoning. So I'm going to go ahead and just salt this up. This is a really big main. And mix all that in. See if we can't rescue this really large, I mean, really impressively large portion. There's a little bit of water left over in the bottom. I tend to put a little bit more water in pasta because I really don't want crunchy pasta. Let's check that out with that entire package of salt. This would be a perfect, absolutely perfect ration for some powdered hot sauce. Since you don't have to worry about it freezing, I guess these crackers are going to come in really handy because maybe a little added texture boost will make this really good? Question mark? I don't know about really good, but it certainly makes it more interesting because it's crunchy. And making it crunchy, yes, absolutely does make it just a little bit better. And there really is a great deal of meat in here. I really wasn't expecting that. That is a refreshing change though. A lot of pasta bolognese comes and it's just mostly sauce and noodles and they try to make it look like there's a lot of meat in there. This is a pretty healthy looking bolognese. I mean, I'm going to try not to drop this on my... Yeah, whatever. There really is a great deal of really small pieces of beef in here, just like ground beef. So it is really hearty and certainly really filling. It's so much easier to eat this when there's some crunch to it. Well, I really hope that beef stew does not turn out like this pasta bolognese, given that the country of origin of this ration is Italy. Now, you talk about people that know how to make pasta bolognese, it's probably them, and I'm pretty sure an Italian soldier that gets this is thinking that this is a fucking bowl of dog food compared to what he's used to having. I'm sure those guys have a serious opinion about this pasta bolognese. Whew! It might be bland, but it will absolutely fill your belly. That was a lot to eat, so they are definitely feeding these guys. I'm full. I haven't even made it to the mousse yet, haven't finished my drinks, and I am absolutely packed, but we're going to get onto that chocolate mousse without any doubt. And I don't care if you're climbing a mountain or not. After all this shit, I don't think you're going to be hungry either. And this is your bolognese is mediocre, and I'm getting a different spoon to eat that mousse with, spoon drop. So let's dig in here. Let's try to get a big old spoonful of this mousse. Ooh, I see a red hunk in there. Maybe that's a hunk of cherry. I'm really looking forward to this. A lot of times what I do is when I'm mixing these things up, I actually just wipe the spoon off. I don't always stick it in my face because I want the first bite of items like this to be shared with you guys on camera. Now, what I'm seeing is right here in that little corner is a little red bit, which I'm really hoping that is a hunk of cherry. I'm looking forward to that bite. That ought to be good. So let's throw some of this mousse back in my head. Hell yes, that is good. Oh my God. That was a big piece of cherry. That chocolate mousse mixed up really well. No powdery consistency to it whatsoever. Granola, it's in there, but it's a little bit on the softer side, maybe because it's been sitting in this mousse for a while. That cherry bite was absolutely delectable. I hope every bite has a little chunk of that cherry in there. That was epic. This is one hell of a dessert item. As full as I am absolutely scraping every morsel of this out of the tray. That looks like a big old cherry bite. This shit is fucking amazing. This is an off-the-hook ration item. This was probably worth the entire cost of this ration, but it's items just like this, like the coffee, the cappuccino, all this stuff makes it worth it. Even when you get a bland main like that pasta bolognese, you have to remember these are mass-produced military meals, and I'm hard on them. So I'm just literally taking it on face value as how many calories are in this bag, what's its intended purpose, and what kind of nutritional value is it offering the soldier. And I also look at how is that soldier going to feel at the end of that meal or day where they've been provided this food. Are they going to feel good about it? Are they going to kind of hate it? Is it going to kind of suck? The reality of it is you should have happy soldiers. These guys live hard lives on our behalf, no matter what country you're from. Feed your soldiers well. Gonna sit here and enjoy every bite of this. I really wish we had taste division. I would totally give you guys a big old bite of this because if you're sitting here watching my goofy ass, you deserve a bite. This literally is just one step down from something you'd find in a restaurant. I almost hate to do it, but I did say something about taking some of these Biscotto crackers and scooping up some mousse. Big old scoop of this chocolate granola mousse on a Biscotto cracker. And that's actually a really good combination. I'm not going to do it too many more times, but that really crispy, crunchy, light, airy cracker bite actually really pairs well with this mousse. Such a sad time. My friends, my ration brothers and sisters, that is the last spoonful of that excellent chocolate, granola, and cherry mousse. And let me tell you what, this has been one hell of an experience. There's a big ass cherry in there. And I know this is the second spoon drop, but you know what? That is the best mousse on the planet that ever came out of a bag spoon drop. That's what the hell this one is. Shit, I completely forgot about the gum. So before I forget about the gum completely, because I tend to not review gum that I've reviewed 100 times before, but this Cold Fresh Smile is definitely something new to me. So let's see what this guy is all about. So we have 2 white chiclets of, well, Cold Fresh gum. Let's see if it makes me smile. Absolutely. That's great. Really chewy on the front end. Almost sticks to your teeth at first. It's actually a mix between mint and peppermint, which is a really great combination. Nice and mild, but really like permeates inside of your mouth. Really sweet, nice and chewy. That's excellent. Well, my friends, that's lunch. We did the gum. I'm going to finish up this stuff, and then I'm going to have to go do some more shit to burn off some of these carbohydrates, and then I'll be back here in 3 or 4, maybe even 5 hours, and we'll do a nice late dinner together. Maybe we'll light some candles, get all cuddly and smoochy, and watch Netflix afterwards. Get it? Little Netflix and chill. You guys want to Netflix and chill with me? You know you do. All right, my friends, and welcome back to dinner. It has been a long day of eating. Luckily, I've had some things to keep me busy to burn off some of these calories, but we have dinner out on the tray as well as the rest of the snacks. The only thing we're not going to get into is this bag of walnuts, because I'm not really into walnuts. But what we are going to break into for dinner is we're going to see if we can get through 2 packs of these biscotti crackers. We have that slightly janky, still kind of smushy dark chocolate bar. We have the beef stew with potatoes. We have our blueberry and vanilla muesli. We've got those hazelnuts. We've got our Enervite tablet. We've got that Beretta cereal bar, which I'm really looking forward to. And we also have some lemon tea to drink. And we're absolutely going to crack into that hot cocoa. I'm saving the rest of the coffee to send out to you guys because it is a lot of fun. And with everything freeze-dried, you know what we got to do first? We have to get this stuff hydrating. That is kind of a pain in the ass when you're doing these ration reviews, just to be fair. Take a look at that. That's actually kind of healthy looking in the bag, like right out of the gate. It looks pretty damn good. I'm hoping this beef stew turns out to be amazing. Beef stew's kind of ho-hum, but hey, it's good food, so let's get it hydrated. And this says to fill it up to line C, which is really far up the package. I guess we're just going to go for it. We'll probably go just a little bit less with the experience we've been having with these things. So we're going to go right to about C.5 or D, and we'll get this much more substantial spoon down in there and give everything a little stir, and then we'll rock out with a little shake like this beef stew owes us some back taxes or something. You know that's how the man does you. He just pick you up by your feet, dangle you from your ankles, and shake the shit out of you till he gets all your goddamn money, because that's what the tax man is all about. Ask me how I know. And we're going to get this blueberry vanilla muesli cooking along. That was a really sexy tear. Did you hear that? That even sounded good. Oh, check that out. That's like a big milk brick. We have a huge milk brick chilling at the center of that freeze-dried muesli. Let's see if we can break. Oh, yep, there we go. We just broke that brick right up. Kinda want to get one of these hunks of milk and see what that's all about. That was super rich and creamy. There was a blueberry chilling out in there. That was excellent. And I forgot, on these Dry Tech field meals, there is a fill line on the outside of the bag. Now, I'm probably not going to listen to their advice because I like my muesli a little thicker. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour that nice hot water in there, and just until I feel like I've done enough. And that looks about right to me, which leaves me a perfect amount of nice hot water for the hot cocoa. And we'll give that muesli a nice stir and a couple of pokes. This is a really calorie-intense meal. I mean, I know I added an extra pack of crackers to it. Even with that aside, this thing has 700 calories. This has 526. That's a hell of a lot of calories to consume in the evening. They're really trying to get that internal furnace working to keep you warm while you're trying to sleep. That is enough poking and prodding of the muesli. I'm sure it's in there like, hey, personal space, buddy. And while these guys are hydrating, let's check out this hot cocoa action. Yes, I'm really looking forward to getting into this Restora hot cocoa. They do a great job with the coffee, with the cappuccino. I'm expecting nothing less from this hot cocoa, if I'm being honest. I am dumping it all over the tray, but who cares? Give that a little swizz. That looks thick and rich and chocolatey and amazing. Let's make up the tea. All right, let's crack into this vitamin, get that the hell out of the way. Flintstones vitamins, so let's just get it over with. Absolutely yummy. Wish you were here. Taste-o-vision. It should so be a thing. Let's check out these hazelnuts. Am I wrong? Are those hazelnuts? They sure as hell don't look like hazelnuts, but it looked like hazelnuts on the package. Guess I'm just gonna have to stomp one of these in the face. We're gonna get an early taste test on what I think are hazelnuts. Maybe I'm just losing my shit. The package really looked like a hazelnut to me, but let's throw one in the face and see what it's all about. You know, if those are hazelnuts, that's the weirdest hazelnut I've ever tasted. They're nutty, they're yummy, they have a hazelnut texture to them. They're just not what I'm accustomed to seeing. These are yummy, I'll take them anyway. These are really good. They have lots of fiber, they'll help you poop. And nuts are normally pretty good, unless it's a walnut. We got some crackers out on the tray. I'm sure they'll go pretty good with the beef stew. Let's check out this cereal bar. Ooh, that's that's really odd looking. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Let's let's bring this up to you guys.
Tell me how you feel about that. That kind of looks like the candy bar that came out of the pool in Caddyshack, and it kind of looks like what it was supposed to be in that movie too, like a big bar dookie. I'm not real sure about this bar, if I'm being 100% honest. That thing looks a bit rough, in my opinion. We'll give it its day in court, though. Not everything that looks good tastes good, or not everything that looks bad tastes bad. So we'll get into it. Let's check out this dark chocolate bar. I hope this thing doesn't look as bad as that one. Oh, that's just like powder. Ooh, maybe that's got, ooh. Is this supposed to be like a cocoa mix? This said it was. What in the absolute fuck is that? Okay, was that supposed to be a chocolate bar? It does say it is a mini bar, and you saw what just came out of there. It's absolutely turned to dust. It's just chocolate dust, so maybe, I don't know, maybe we should just throw some in the hot chocolate? I'm not quite sure. That's why it felt all warm and squishy. 49% dark cocoa. This does say that it's a mini bar, and it turned to a mini bag of dust. So either this took a severe beating, got really heat stressed, which that certainly looks heat stressed. Nothing else in this ration appeared to be heat stressed, though. That is not at all what I expected. We'll get a spoonful of it at some point, just shovel it in the face, see what it's about. Looks like I should have made a drink out of it, though. All right, I gotta clean a little bit of the dust out of this tray. It's getting a little ruckus in here, and I don't want chocolate-flavored beef stew. That's just not a thing. I'm gonna grab a spoonful of this, and I'm gonna bring it up to my nose, because it is just really weird that this bar turned to dust. And that smells like old chocolate. That is really crazy. Maybe this chocolate bar was just sitting around in the back of a warehouse and they chucked it in this bag. Not 100% sure. What the hell. Let's give it a bite while we're waiting on this other stuff to hydrate. That is a whole nother adventure in and of itself that we're going to save to the end. We'll just go ahead and get into this chocolate bar dust and see what that's all about. That's kind of a big bite. Maybe I should back off of that just a little bit in case it's absolutely heinous. And that's crazy. That tastes excellent. No clue what the hell it was supposed to be. Maybe a dry, dark chocolate bar that somehow or the other didn't come out properly. It probably might be the dip I was looking for these crackers. A little chocolatey biscotto cracker. See if I can get that to me without just dumping it all over my shirt. Oh, that combo right there. That's absolutely amazing. It's like having a crunchy, chocolate-flavored pita chip. It's absolutely amazing. This is great. I don't think this was supposed to come in a powder, but you know what? Kind of glad that it did, because it makes a really good pair with these crackers. And I also have a feeling, because it's already on my shirt, that I'm going to wear a good portion of it. I have just a little dusting of chocolate dust all across the front of my shirt. Imagine that. Let's clean the palate with a little bit of this lemon tea. And that stuff really is good, cold or hot. That's an excellent addition. Really good. Now let's rock on to this hot cocoa. I kind of wanted to get that other chocolate taste out of my mouth so I could give this its absolute own day in court. That's really creepy looking. But anyway, let's check out this hot cocoa. Let's bring it up to you so you can see. It didn't mix up all that well, but you know what? I felt like I stirred it enough. That's all right, though. Let's get a sniff of this while it's nice and warm. That smells really deep, dark, chocolatey, and rich. In the hole it goes. You know, I had really high hopes for this, and it just kind of crushed them. That is a very underwhelming hot cocoa. That's the only thing I can say. It's underwhelming. It almost doesn't have much of a chocolate flavor at all, and it's not at all sweet. So we have the technology included in this ration to fix that problem. You know what? Because I needed another 8 grams of sugar in my life, like I needed another hole in my body. But let's go ahead and toss this sugar in there. We'll get the sweetness up. And we're going to get a couple of spoonfuls of this chocolate powder, even though I know that's not what the hell it was for. But we're going to put a good bit of this chocolate powder in there. The hot cocoa was very thick, and it smelled really like dark chocolate, but it was nothing like that at all. It was actually kind of bland, kind of plain, and I didn't put a whole lot of water in it just because I wanted to get that nice, strong hot cocoa flavor going on. I just didn't get it. So let's see. That's got even thicker now, which is kind of crazy. All right, hot cocoa, round 2, fight. And that's really nice and sweet now. Has a lot more chocolate flavor. Thanks to the powdered chocolate bar, which was definitely a strange thing. Nice, rich, chocolatey flavor, and nice and sweet now that we've added a bunch of shit to it. To be fair, a lot of the U.S. hot cocoa in U.S. MREs is better than that one, and I'm not saying that to bag on this ration. I'm just simply putting it in perspective. If the United States can put a better hot cocoa
in a package for the soldiers than Italy can, considering the quality of the coffee that they put in their rations as well as the cappuccino. They need to work on that shit. So it is about that magic time to get these mains, and I use that word with the plural that it's intended because we have two main items, really. We have this beef stew going on, and that thickened up really nice in there. A little bit light in appearance, but that's all right. We're just gonna squish this right out onto the tray. I almost have a feeling I should have put the beef stew in the back and the muesli in the front, because that is that is a big sack of muesli. That is nice and thick, so that is a whole lot easier to eat when it's a nice thick consistency like that. Hopefully everything hydrated properly and I didn't cheat it of some water, which is certainly possible. And that muesli, which I'm actually really looking forward to. I don't know that I'm looking forward to this quantity of food on the dinner plate, but we're at it anyway. I know you guys can't see that. That really sucks. I'm really sorry, but I don't want to dump it everywhere. Like maybe just kind of everywhere. Yes, look at that. That is sexy. I absolutely love muesli from other countries because they really do it right. Let's grab a bite of this beef stew. So it looks like we have green beans in here, a whole bunch of carrots. We have some small cubed pieces of beef floating around in there. Potatoes. There's supposed to be onions in here. I haven't been able to identify one yet. I'm kind of expecting like a random pea to fall out somewhere at some point, but you never know. Usually there's always a pea in something. It's kind of orange in appearance, probably because it has so many damn carrots in it, which isn't a bad thing. I was expecting more of a brown stew rather than an orange one. Let's bring that up to you so you can get a look at that bite we're about to stuff in ye old face hole. Let's give that beef stew its day in court. Ooh, that's actually really good. Actually got a really great flavor to it. I could go for a pack of pepper. I might throw just a little bit of salt on there. This has a really well-seasoned flavor. A little bit salty, but not crazy. Otherwise, this is seasoned really well. It hydrated really well, even though I cheated it of some water. The taste of each individual vegetable is very pronounced, which I absolutely love. I'm not sure what the base of the broth of this stew is. It's almost like it's like mashed potatoes almost. It's just kind of gelatinous. It's yummy. It tastes really good, and it's going in the face. And the beef is very small. Actually has a really nice flavor to it, and they probably make it small like that simply because it's way easier to rehydrate, especially when you have a limited amount of time and heat energy to really get the water to penetrate the food. The vegetables in this, the flavors absolutely pop when you bite into them. That's amazing. This is a really good freeze-dried main. I'm not even going to bother with the salt. The more I eat of it, the salt content really comes to the front. Considering how big this ration is, I don't think having a couple packs of pepper in it would have killed anything, but we're going to try some of that beef stew on a biscotti. That was really good. Just gave a really nice crunchy texture to this. Not that it really needed it, but it's kind of fun. Absolutely awesome. But that's a whole lot of muesli to try to get through. In addition to this beef stew, it's definitely going to be an interesting evening. And I was wondering, as I was eating this, if I was losing my mind, I started to build up this really nice heat, almost as if there was some just like hot pepper in this already. And look at that onion right there. Hi, Mr. Onion. But I did read through the ingredients, and there is white pepper in this thing, quite a lot of it. There's a good bit of heat to this, especially as you get about halfway through and the mouth gets to burning, and it just makes it so much better. Coming down to the end here, I am getting really full already. The ingredients are of excellent quality. It had a great flavor, a great texture, even for a freeze-dried main. This was absolutely of the utmost quality. I have to give them a big fat thumbs up for that. And here is your look at the very last bite of that pretty damn awesome Dry Tech beef stew and potatoes. Down the hatch with that. And we're going to turn the tray around, kind of like back in the earlier videos when I was a little bit on the spectrum. Not like that, but we're going to turn it around on purpose, not when I used to set up the table and have the tray sitting out backwards because, well, spectrum. So now we have that muesli front and center. That is a big ass pile of muesli with some milk going on in the bottom. We can see some blueberries chilling in there. There's lots of oats. There's some spelt. There is also some barley flakes in there. Hell yeah. My ass is going to be like a tuba later. Me and barley are good buddies from way back. I don't eat them very often, and when I do, my ass lets me know I did. And we have some almond flakes chilling in there. This looks excellent, and we're just going to dive right into it. You get a big old bite. Make sure we get a little bit of blueberry chilling in there. But I'm really full already, but we're going to do our best to put all that down. And we'll wear a little bit of it. Why not? It's always good. That was a little apple bite. So apparently there's some apples in here they didn't disclose in the name of this muesli. And that is absolutely perfect. No bullshit. All the grains in here are perfectly chewy, very mildly sweet, heavy vanilla flavor. There is some apple pieces floating around in there, but you know what? You really don't taste them. I only noticed that one because it happened to, fall on my hand. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know they were there. They probably just provide a little bit of tartness, a little bit of sweetness. This is an absolutely perfectly flavored, perfectly rehydrated, excellent muesli. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat it because this is absolutely amazing. With that milk powder in there, along with the grains, it almost takes on a little bit of like a blueberry cobbler with ice cream aftertaste. That's kind of crazy, but it's really good. This is probably one of the hardest rations I've put down yet. This is a lot of food. Maybe because it's freeze-dried and you're reconstituting it with so much water, the food is just super heavy and it really fills you up fast. And if I hit that 100 subscribers and give this ration away and you're the lucky person that gets it, I would say eat this thing over 2 or 3 days. Enjoy everything that's in here. First, because you don't get it every day. And secondly, because a lot of this food is actually really good. This muesli would make a perfect breakfast, would probably leave you a little bit over full, unless you're a big, enormous breakfast kind of person. I'm literally going to explode sitting at this table. I swear to God. When you're trying to get a person to eat this heavy at the end of the day, because you're trying to keep their internal furnace working all night, making it this delectable is absolutely the way to go. They had this muesli on point. Taste, texture, flavor. It rehydrated really well. This was absolutely probably some of the best muesli I can remember having ever out of a ration, and this is the last bite. And even though there's no room for it, it's going in there. Absolutely going in there. That's what he said. Whew, and this is a thanks, Italy. I just had to unbutton my pants because that was a hell of a lot of really good food. Spoon drop. Hell yes. And before we wrap up dinner, we've got to try this crusty ass chocolate cereal bar. I mean, question mark, we have to? Let's break this thing open and see what that's all about. I would hate to have the linchpin, the one thing that would make me hurl up all that really great food that I just ate, because I am extraordinarily happy with that meal. I can't speak to what this was actually supposed to look like. Looks like it had at one time a thin chocolate coating on there, but let's give you a nice cross section of that, so you can see what it looks like on the inside. Let's get a little nibble of this turd bar. I don't know what the hell this thing is supposed to be. Okay, that is really weird. I hope when I give this other Italian mountain ration away that you don't get a heat-stressed bar like that. This particular bar has a lot of heat stress. And as you can see, after I took the bite, there's some nuts in there, and they taste just a little rancid. So does the chocolate coating on the exterior of this thing. I'm not sure what that is all about, and that napkin is the worst thing on the planet. Just give me a plastic bag to wipe my face with. I really don't understand it. I don't know why. Every other component in this ration was perfect, except for that bar and that chocolate bar. That thing turned dust, and that thing took so much heat stress all by itself. It must have taken all the heat stress for the entire ration, because everything else in here was absolutely perfect. But just from the base flavor of it, I can tell it would have been chewy, it would have been chocolatey, it would have been nutty. Aside from that, I can't tell you much more about it, except for this particular specimen of this bar has turned, which is a real bummer. And I gotta be 100% honest, I am too full to continue. I have a whole nother pack of crackers, walnuts, which you already knew I was saving, 2 more sports drinks, gum, another Enervite tablet, a couple of coffees, and that bar, which I'm not eating. I can't do any more nuts. Just, I am so done. This has been an amazing day of really cool food, a lot of fun experience, and hey, we got to spend it together, so that is even better. So thank you everyone for joining me here on Ration Nerd, where we got into this Italian Army, Alpine Troops, Cold Climate Food Ration, Module B. This was absolutely bitchin', and you know what else was really bitchin'? The fact that you came along for the ride. And if you stayed this long, you're an OG ration rapper. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but you're totally one of them. So go ahead and put your ration bandana on and go out and ration bang people? I'm not sure what the fuck that even means. If you really want to support the channel, join me on Patreon, get you a chance to win a free ration, because this month's ration giveaway is this Russian individual meal ration that is going to be going to whoever wins on the 9th of next month. Or if I get to 100 Patreon subscribers in the month of July, I'm giving away one of these rations, because I've got another one on the way, and I'm going to share with you, because I'm a bitchin' guy, and that's just how it goes. And to be fair, this Italian Alpine ration was absolutely epic. Tons of food, hard to put it all down in one day. This is definitely in my ration Hall of Fame. This is in the top 5. This was a hell of a lot of fun, a great ration. Very few items missing from this, except for the sweetened condensed milk, which they really could have crept closer to the number 1 spot if they had put a tube of sweetened condensed in here. I'm just saying, Italy, if you're listening, put the sweetened goddamn condensed milk in here. The guys will deal with it when it's cold. They'll figure it out. They have nut sacks. They can keep that shit warm. But anyway, you know how this goes. If you can find something cooler than this Italian Army Alpine Troops Cold Climate Food Ration Module B to put in your face hole, you absolutely know how this shit goes. And if you don't, I'm gonna tell you. Eat 'em up.
Man, that motherfucker, he didn't let me out of my cage last week. I'm all kinds of wound up, and then this motherfucker done went and packed me full of food all goddamn day. Like, what you think, we ain't in the mountains? I look like some kind of motherfucking mountain goat to you. I ain't in the fucking mountains. Man, I gotta live in here with your ass too. And then you're gonna, the last video, you ain't even gonna let me out of my box. Like, you just gonna make me not talk. Like that shit ain't even right. I need to write my congressman. I need to see my representative. I need somebody to help me with this bitch. Cause if I'm gonna be talking at the end of the videos, I need to talk at the end of every video, not just when this motherfucker feels like letting me out of my cage. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, like I was saying, I'm so goddamn full, I can't even see straight right now. I'm sure my blood sugar's through the roof, and I ain't even got blood sugar problems, but goddamn, that was a whole lot of carbohydrates. You see that guy just stuffing all that food in his face, eating crackers like that shit was good for you. Crackers, that's funny, crackers. Crackers, the crackers is always funny, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, you guys know what's up. You need to, I don't know what you need to do, but you need to help me out, because he been keeping me locked up for a week, so I'm kind of like all messed up in the head. But I need some therapy or something. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna sing my own song.